Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning: this video may contain explicit descriptions of drug use, violence, and sexual situations. Viewer discretion is advised as this content may not be suitable for all audiences.
Hello and welcome back. We are continuing our journey through the Kingdom of Fear with Hunter S. Thompson. We will get started here just in a second. Got earbuds and I keep forgetting to put them in. So, as things go, I hope everything's going okay. I hope you're having fun. I hope the universe is treating you fairly. So, without further ado, let's get into this.
The poor bastards of what will forever be known as Generation Z are doomed to be the first generation of Americans who will grow up with a lower standard of living than their parents enjoyed. That is extremely heavy news, and it will take a while for it to sink in.
And it's not just Gen Z, it's millennials. My sister-in-law is got a college degree, kinesiology, can't get a job that pays enough for her to move out of her parents' house. And the only reason why me and my wife are making it now is I've got a pretty decent retirement package, and she's got a pretty good gig teaching. So you have to have two people, single income, single person, single income. In this day and age, they're fucked. Like I said, he is completely right, and he was writing this back in 2001.
The 22 babies born in New York City while the World Trade Center burned will never know what they missed. The last half of the 20th century will seem like a wild party for rich kids compared to what's coming now. The party's over, folks. The time has come for loyal Americans to sacrifice. Sacrifice. Sacrifice.
And we are still sacrificing, and we're getting ready to do a whole lot of sacrificing in the next 4 years.
That is the new buzzword in Washington. But what it means is not entirely clear. Winston Churchill said, "The first casualty of war is always truth." Churchill also said, in wartime, truth is so precious that she should always be attended by a bodyguard of lies. That
right there is a very interesting commentary on American society.
Wisdom will not be much comfort to babies born last week. The first news they get in this world will be news subjected to military censorship. That is a given in wartime, along with massive campaigns of deliberately planted disinformation. That is routine behavior in wartime for all countries and all combatants.
And especially in a asymmetrical war on a global scale like we're fighting now.
It makes life difficult for people who value real news. Count on it. That is what Churchill meant when he talked about truth being the first casualty of war. In this case, however, the next casualty was football. All games were canceled last week, and that has never happened to the NFL. Never. That gives us a hint about the magnitude of this war.
And it happened again during the dark days of 2020, which is weird that we've had that happen. Or at least for me, that's happened twice in my lifetime. So
terrorists don't wear uniforms, and they play by inscrutable rules. The rules of World War III, which has already begun. So get ready for it, folks. Buckle up and watch your backs at all times. That is why they call it terrorism.
And it's also what terrorism is the layperson term for it, but the correct nomenclature, or the correct title for it, is asymmetrical warfare. Whereas you have symmetrical warfare is the kind of war that was fought World War II, World War One, Spanish-American War, Civil War, blah, blah, blah. Now we fight Korea. Korea was the start of asymmetrical warfare. Vietnam, it was very, very pronounced in Vietnam. And you had the hijackings in the 70s, airplane hijackings in the 70s. The Beirut embassy thing in the 80s. I mean, yes, we are not fighting World War III in the convention that you think of in terms of like the propaganda that we get about, you know, peace and war, your World War II movies, your Battle of the Bulge and stuff like that. No, we have been fighting since the end of the Cold War a asymmetrical proxy World War III. So yeah, don't let anyone bullshit you that we're not globally fighting in a war right now. We're just not doing it visibly. It's a lot of cloak and dagger and blowing shit up randomly here and there.
September 19th, 2001. Speedism. Hi, Mr. Thompson. My name is Wendy from Suzuki, and I want more than anything else in the world to give you a brand new Suzuki, which has a top speed of 200 miles per hour. Chuckle. Yeah, I thought that would interest you. Giggle. Call me anytime. How long, oh Lord, how long? Some people wait all their lives for a telephone call like that, but not me. I get them constantly, and on some nights I ask myself, why? Rules for driving fast.
And these are important rules, to be honest with you.
Speedism is the most recently identified disease that curses modern man. Yesterday's murdering speed freak is today's helpless victim of speedism. This is a big leap that has taken a long time to achieve. It is a milestone in medical history, and many unsung heroes have sacrificed themselves for it, including Sid Vicious and the actor Richard Pryor, who set himself on fire while researching the speedism virus. This is wonderful news. A whole generation of coke fiends can rest easy now. They were not common addicts and criminals, no. They were helpless victims of a highly contagious virus.
Interesting.
Spidata virusium. The disease is debilitating, demoralizing, and incurable, leaving the victim racked with pain and utterly helpless for 6 to 9 months at a time. Speedism can be fatal when mixed with high-speed automobiles and whiskey. It is wrong and I condemn it, but some dingbats will do it anyway. And not all will survive, but so what? For the others, the living, here are some basic rules. Number 1, make sure your car is functioning on all mechanical and electrical levels.
Which is a very, very important thing, even if you're not indulging in controlled substances.
Do not go out on any road to drive fast unless all your exterior lights are working perfectly. There is only failure and jail very soon for anybody who tries to drive fast with one headlight or a broken red taillight. This is automatic, unarguable, probable cause for a cop to pull you over and check everything in your car.
Yep. And that goes back to some of the points that I hit in the last video.
You do not want to give them probable cause. Check your lights, gas gauge, and tire pressure before you drive anywhere. Number 2. Get familiar with the brake pressures on your machine before you drive any faster than 10 miles per hour. A brake drum that locks up the instant you touch the pedal will throw you sideways off the road and put you into a fatal egg beater, which means you will go to trial if it happens.
Yep. And another, I mean, a lot of what he's saying is very needed even if you're sober driving.
Be very aware of your brakes. Number 3. Have no small wrecks. If you're going to loop out and hit something, hit it hard. Never mind that old school physics bullshit about the irresistible force and the immovable object. The main rule of the highway is that some objects are more movable than others. This occurs, for instance, when a speeding car goes straight through a plywood billboard, but not when one goes through a concrete wall. In most cases, the car going fastest sustains less damage than the slower moving vehicle. A small wreck is almost always both costly and embarrassing. I talked to a man tonight who said he had been demoted from head waiter to salad boy when he had a small wreck in the restaurant's parking lot and lost all respect from his fellow workers. They laughed at me and called me an ass, he said. I should have hit the fucker at 75 instead of just 5, he whined. It cost me $6,800 anyway. I would have been maitre d' by now if I'd screwed it on and just mashed the bastard.
And, you know, there is a nugget of truth to what he's saying there. If you go through, wherever you are, especially if you live in the United States, go through your local registry or your court records on crashes, like crashes on the freeway, crashes in town, and automotive accidents, and you'll find there's a lot of what he's saying here is true.
These turds have made me an outcast. Number 4. This is one of the more advanced rules, but let's pop it in here while we still have space. Avoid at all costs the use of any drug or drink or hubris or even boredom that might cause you to steal a car and crash it into a concrete wall just to get the rush of the airbags exploding on you.
Yeah, most definitely an important thing to remember.
This new fad among rich teenagers in LA is an extremely advanced technique that only pure amateurs should try, and it should never be done twice. Take my word for it. Number 5. The eating schedule should be as follows. Hot fresh spinach, Wellfleet oysters, and thick slabs of sourdough garlic toast with salt and black pepper.
Actually, the toast, I've had toast like that before, and it is scrumptious, to be honest with you.
Eat this 2 hours before departure in quantities as needed. The drink should be Grolsch green beer, a dry oaken-flavored white wine, and a tall glass full of ice cubes and Royal Salute Scotch whiskey for the supercharge factor. Strong black coffee should also be sipped while eating, with dark chocolate cake soaked in Grand Marnier for dessert. The smoking of oily hashish is optional, and in truth not recommended for use before driving at speeds up to 150 miles per hour in residential districts. The smoking of powerful hashish should be saved until after your return from the drive, when nerve ends are crazy and raw.
And there, for me, there's some Fifth Amendment issues there.
Song of the sausage creature. There are some things nobody needs in this world, and a bright red hunchback warp speed 900cc cafe racer is one of them. But
I don't know. It could be fun.
want one anyway, and on some days I actually believe I need one. That is why they are dangerous. Everybody has fast motorcycles these days. Some people go 150 miles an hour on 2-lane blacktop roads, but not often. There are too many oncoming trucks and too many radar cops and too many stupid animals in the way. You have to be a little crazy to ride these super torque high-speed crotch rockets anywhere except a racetrack. And even there, they will scare the whimpering shit out of you.
Yeah, as somebody who doesn't have the equilibrium to ride a motorcycle, I have been fascinated by people that ride motorcycles at elevated speeds like that.
There is, after all, not a pig's eye worth of difference between going head-on into a Peterbilt or sideways into the bleachers. On some days, you get what you want, and on others, you get what you need. When Cycle World called me to ask if I would road test the new Harley Road King, I got uppity and said I'd rather have a Ducati superbike. It seemed like a chic decision at the time, and my friends on the superbike circuit got very excited. Damn, they said. We will take it to the track and blow the bastards away. Balls, I said. Never mind the track. The track is for punks. We are road people. We are cafe racers.
Yeah, I believe the whole cafe racer thing got started in France in the early part of the 20th century, but I could be wrong, and if you know for sure, leave a comment down in the comments about it.
The cafe racer is a different breed, and we have our own situations. Pure speed in 6th gear on a 5,000-foot straightaway is one thing, but pure speed in 3rd gear on a gravel-strewn downhill S-turn is quite another. But we like it. A thoroughbred cafe racer will ride all night through a fog storm and freeway traffic to put himself into what somebody told him was the ugliest and tightest diminishing radius loop turn since Genghis Khan invented the corkscrew.
He's got a point.
Cafe racing is mainly a matter of taste. It is an atavistic mentality, a peculiar mix of low style, high speed, pure dumbness, and overweening commitment to the cafe life and all its dangerous pleasures. I am a cafe racer myself on some days, and many nights for that matter, and it is one of my finest addictions. I am not without scars on my brain and my body, but I can live with them. I still feel a shudder in my spine every time I see a picture of a Vincent Black Shadow, or when I walk into a public restroom and hear crippled men whispering about the terrifying Kawasaki Triple. I have visions of compound femur fractures and large black men in white hospital suits holding me down on a gurney, while a nurse called Bess sews the flaps of my scalp together with a stitching drill. Ho ho! Thank God for these flashbacks.
you gotta love his curtness with describing things.
The brain is such a wonderful instrument until God sinks his teeth into it. Some people hear Tiny Tim singing when they go under, and others hear the song of the sausage creature. When the Ducati turned up in my driveway, nobody knew what to do with it. I was in New York covering a polo tournament, and people had threatened my life. My lawyer said I should give myself up and enroll in the Federal Witness Protection Program. Other people said it had something to do with the polo crowd, or maybe Ron Ziegler.
It's just hard to find that the polo crowd to be menacing, to be honest with you.
The motorcycle business was the last straw. It had to be the work of my enemies, or people who wanted to hurt me. It was the vilest kind of bait, and they knew I would go for it. Of course. You want to cripple the bastard? Send him a 160-mile-per-hour cafe racer, and include some license plates, so he'll think it's a street bike. He's queer for anything fast. Which is true. I've been a connoisseur of fast motorcycles all my life. I bought a brand new 650 BSA Lightning when it was billed as the fastest motorcycle ever tested by Hot Rod Magazine. I have ridden a 500-pound Vincent through traffic on the Ventura Freeway with burning oil on my legs, and run the Kawa 750 Triple through Beverly Hills at night with a head full of acid.
That had to have been spooky as shit, to just be honest with you, with my previous experiences with things of that nature. And we'll go ahead and call this good here. And until next time, everybody have a good day. Be good to humans. Be a good human. Peace.